Zach Wolf, take your seat, please. Alice always thinks that I don't bring pens. No, I have one. I'd like to call to order the July 27th, 2022 meeting of the Board of Public Works. My name is Dan Parker. I'm the chair of the board. Our board members present today are to my left, Susie Cordy and Sobeko Jawanza, and to my right are Dan Hake and Nicole Martinez-Legrand. Our legal counsel, Misty Mercer, is behind me, and our board secretary, Alice Drozier, is in front. First order of business is to adopt the agenda. Do I have a motion to adopt the agenda?
So
Moved by Susie Cordy. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Sobeko Jawanza. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The agenda is adopted. Next, the minutes for the July 13th meeting were distributed to the members. Do I have a motion to adopt the minutes?
So moved.
Moved by Sobeko Jawanza. Is there a second? Seconded by Nicole Martinez-Legrand. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The minutes are adopted. Next up is bid awards. Bob Fry. Bob, you want to invite our superintendents from Stormwater to come on up?
Hi, my name is William Battle. I'm the superintendent for channel maintenance, storm water levees.
David Bride, superintendent of forestry.
This is a pretty expensive piece of equipment, gentlemen. You want to explain why we're going to be doing this?
Yes, it is pretty expensive. The job of the clearing out the levees, when I had a walk with the Army Corps for federal relations to get the levees accredited, the toe of the levee has to be cleared 15 feet. And some of our levees have trees that's on the levee that's within the 10 feet of the 15 feet of the levees. And so this machine will clear out these trees off the levee at a high pace and accurate, safe environment. Some of the trees are very tall. If we cut the trees down, it has the potential of falling into the water. And of course, anything that goes into the water, we have to get a permit to go into the water, remove that equipment out. So this machine will help in all kind of ways.
David, do you have anything else to add?
No, I've been with stormwater for the last 15 years, worked on the levees for the last 13 years before I got into management, and we've been needing a piece of equipment that we could use like this to clear the levees and keep them up to par and up to federal state standard.
Any questions for either Bob on the bid or William or David?
Maybe clarifying one and then some questions. First, I believe you said it came with spare parts and the ability for training as well. Is there a warranty or anything like that just in case this thing breaks down? And if not, well, warranty and what is kind of like the lifespan of this type of equipment?
I'll answer the first part. I mean, we always require a minimum 1-year warranty on parts and workmanship. So I know Cinnabogan met that because they met the specs. Whether the manufacturer's warranty is longer than that, I'm not certain. I'd have to go back and look at the bid package. I'm sorry for that. I don't know whether these gentlemen, can you answer the question about like what the lifespan of this machine might be?
Longer than we live.
He said longer than we're living, so.
And my second question, so express to us, gentlemen, about this equipment and what it does to the workforce, like those who are actually doing the work, and this equipment being important, especially if there's a safety component to having this piece of material, this engineering versus what we've normally been doing.
Well, with us purchasing this machine, we don't have to contract our work out. So the DPW employees will be able to do the work themselves. And, you know, this is, like I said, we'll have the training. We'll make sure the mechanics will be there to get the training to prepare the equipment. So if we keep up with the maintenance on it, like David said, it's longer than our lifespan.
I guess clarifying, we usually contract this type of work out, and also heard sometimes when trees fall into a body of water, we have to actually go through another kind of process to get that. This could alleviate both of those things and having it in-house, correct?
Correct.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
Additional questions? Seeing none, I'd ask for a motion to approve the bid award for RFB-14 DPW-1500. Moved by Nicole Martinez-Legrand. Is there a second? Seconded by Dan Hank. Discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? That bid awards have been approved.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, gentlemen. Bill Rogers, you're up. It's been a while since you've been here, Bill.
Yes, it has. Yes, it has. Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman and board members. I am Bill Rogers, Fleet Administrator. IFS staff recommends the Board of Public Works approve and authorize the director to award and enter into a supply agreement with a 1-year term with Hahn Automotive Warehouse Incorporated, doing business as Speedway Auto Parts, the lowest responsive and responsible bidder on RFB 14 DPW 1495 for supply of motor, oil, and lubricants. IFS uses various motor oils and lubricants for the maintenance of vehicles in the city-county fleet. The city's purchasing division published RFB 14 DPW 1495 for the procurement of these supplies. 2 bids were received from TBA Oil Warehouse, Inc. and Hahn Automotive Warehouse, Inc., and the latter was deemed as the lowest responsive and responsible bidder. The Office of Minority and Women's Business Development has reviewed the bid of Hahn Automotive Warehouse Incorporated and has granted a program waiver due to the nature of this contract being for the supply and delivery of commodities, and there are no subcontracting opportunities. Expenditures over the 1-year term of this agreement are estimated at $162,000. Are there any questions?
Questions for Bill? Seeing none, I ask for motion to approve the bid award for RFB-14 DPW-1495. Moved by Dan Hake. Is there a second? Seconded by Susie Cordy. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? That bid award's approved. Bill, next one.
Fleet Services staff recommends the Board of Public Works approve and authorize the director to award and enter into a supply agreement with a one-year term with Palms Tire Service Incorporated, the lowest responsive and responsible bidder on RFB 14 DPW 1491 for the supply of police pursuit tires. This agreement will provide for the supply of police pursuit tires for use in the maintenance of all applicable city-county vehicles maintained by Fleet Services. The city's purchasing division published invitation to bid number RFB 14 DPW 1491 for the supply of police pursuit tires. One bid was received from Palms Tire Service Incorporated, which was deemed responsive to the bid specifications. Estimated annual expenditures for 1 year in the term of this agreement is $362,000. The Office of Minority and Women's Business Development has reviewed the bid submitted by Palms Tire Service Incorporated and granted a program waiver because there are no subcontracting opportunities available for this agreement. Are there any questions?
Questions for Bill on this one? Seeing none, I'd ask for a motion to approve the bid award for RFB-14 DPW-1491. Moved by Sebeco Juwanza. Is there a second? Seconded by Nicole Martinez Legrand. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? That bid award's approved. Bill, thank you. David Borden, we're over to you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair, members of the board. I'm David Borden, Construction Administrator for DPW Engineering. First change order I have today is change order number 2 for BR 32134. The Engineering Division staff recommends the Board of Public Works approve and authorize the Director to execute change order number 1 to BR 32134, Minnesota Street over Bean Creek with Duncan Robertson in the increased amount of $11,844 for a new total not to exceed contract amount of $950,654.50 and 77 days subtracted for the substantial and final completion dates. So this change order is incorporating 2 work directive changes, number 2 and 3. WDC 2 is for the addition of a Type 3 barricade on the closure at the west end of Minnesota Street. And WDC 3 is for additional structural backfill. So at the time of design for the footing, it was assumed a 3 to 4 foot wide footing per the designer. Once it went into manufacturing, the supplier recommended a 7-foot wide footing based on the geotech report. Additional backfill is required. The reduction of 77 days at the beginning of this project, it was not anticipated that the trees for the tree mitigation would be planted until the fall. We added those days. They were actually able to get them in the spring, so those days are no longer needed, so we are reducing the completion date. If you have any questions, I'm happy to try and answer them at this time.
Questions for David on this one? Seeing none, I'd ask for a motion to approve change order number 2 for BR-32-132, excuse me, 134. Moved by Dan Hake. Is there a second? Seconded by Sebeco Juwanza. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? That change order is approved. David, next one.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is change order number 7 for SD 12039. The Engineering Division staff recommends the Board of Public Works approve and authorize the Director to execute change order number 7 for HIS Constructors for SD 12039, Brendan Ridge Neighborhood Drainage Improvements in the increased amount of $41,104.11 for a new total agreement amount not to exceed $2,467,767.89 with 0 days added to substantial and final completion dates. We're incorporating work directive changes 11 through 13, all of them related to the same thing. On site, it was discovered that the existing asphalt was overlaying a rolled curb and gutter. So the milling depth had to be modified, so essentially it needed to be shallowed up in order for us not to have to replace all of the rolled curb and gutter. So we had to adjust some of the manholes and additional topsoil placement and a different type of milling operation, which totals the $41,104. This is about a third of the cost of what it would have cost to replace all that curb and gutter. So this was the lesser of the two. If you have any questions, I'm happy to try and answer them at this time.
Questions for David? Seeing none, I ask for motion to approve change order number 7 for SD-12-039. Moved by Nicole Martinez Legrand. Is there a second? Seconded by Sabeko Jawanza. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? That change order is approved. David, next one.
Thank you. This is change order number 1 for ST-22093. The Engineering Division staff recommends the Board of Public Works approve and authorize the Director to execute change order number 1 to ST-22093, 2022 Thoroughfare Structural Rehabilitation Area 2 with Calumet Civil Contractors an increased amount of $31,938.72 for a new total not to exceed contract amount of $2,208,938.72 with no change to the substantial and final completion dates. So on this street, there was an approach to Lord Street that was not included in the original bid. While we were out there doing the reconstruction of the main line road, it was determined that that approach needed to be addressed. It's experiencing some heavy traffic, so we opted to include that so we can have a more complete, holistic project at that location. In addition, after we milled, we were able to uncover that 2 of the inlets needed reconstructing and are also included in this WDC. If you have any questions, happy to try and answer them at this time.
Questions for David on this one? Seeing none, I'd ask for motion to approve change order number 1 for ST-22-093. Moved by Susie Cordy. Is there a second? Second by Dan Hake. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? That change order is approved. David, last one.
Thank you. This is change order number 16 for ST-25161E. The Engineering Division staff recommends the Board of Public Works approve and authorize the Director to execute change order number 16 to ST-25161E, Market Street reconstruction, Illinois Street to Monument Circle with Morphe Construction, and the increased amount of $19,236.90 for a new total not to exceed contract amount of $2,922,704.75 and 4 days added to the substantial and final completion dates. The bulk of this is in WDC number 36, about $18,000 and change. This is for the relocation of a transformer cabinet that is necessary for the lighting on Market Street. The original location in the alley was conflicting with trash pickup due to the development at that intersection with Hyde Park. And so we are relocating it to the back of the alley. They have an elevator there for construction purposes that cannot be relocated. The developer is actually covering the cost of this. This is at no cost to the city. Our contractors performing the work, but will be reimbursed. WDC 37 is only $440. That was for an additional pavement removal. And then the time extension on WDC 38 in 4 days was for the work of relocating the cabinet further back into the alley. If you have any questions, I'm happy to try and answer them at this time.
Questions for David on this one? Seeing none, I ask for motion to approve change order number 16 for ST-25-161E. Moved by Sabeko Jawanza. Is there a second? Seconded by Nicole Martinez Legrand. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The change order is approved. David, let's go to final change order.
This is change order number 4 final for SD 20043. The Engineering Division staff recommends the Board of Public Works approve and authorize the Director to execute change order number 4 final to SD 20043, City of Lawrence, Lawrence Trades District, drainage improvements with Eagle Valley in the decreased amount of $22,759.59 for a new total not to exceed contract amount of $1,094,183.12, with 0 days added to the substantial and final completion dates. This is a final balancing change order for the contract. It is completed, and we are now requesting final lien waivers and trying to process the final invoice after this is approved. If you have any questions, I'm happy to try and answer them at this time.
Questions for David on this one? Seeing none, I'd ask for a motion to approve change order number 4 final for SD-20-043. Moved by Dan Hake. Is there a second? Seconded by Susie Cordy. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? That final change order is approved. John, we'll go over to you for professional service agreements.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good afternoon, members of the board. This is a professional services agreement for design for SY 22006, which is the 2022 to 2024 pavement inventory with Applied Research Associates Incorporated. The Engineering Division staff recommends the Board of Public Works approve and authorize the Director to execute SY 22006 2022 to 2024 pavement inventory, a new professional services agreement for design with Applied Research Associates Incorporated in the fixed price total agreement amount of $1,323,600 with an agreement expiration date of December 31st, 2024. The consultant has made a good faith effort to meet the XBE requirements, and the vendor was selected as part of RFQ 2021-5. In a description, the project is basically it's to collect city pavement inventory and pavement management systems, including both thoroughfares and residential streets, spanning from 2022 to 2024. The purpose of the study is really to kind of analyze the existing condition of roads and give us a planning tool to make cost-effective decisions on the repairs of those roads on a citywide basis. The inventory will be broken up into 2 phases. The first phase of the study would focus on thoroughfares, and that evaluation would include 3,475 lane miles and would be delivered in 2022. The second phase of the inventory would focus on the residential roads, which encompasses about 4,450 lane miles, and that would be split between 2023 and 2024. So we'd split up the residential streets into the last 2 years. As part of the study, the consultant will also present recommendations on software upgrades for us to take the data that they collect and utilize it in a better fashion than we are today. Currently, we're using a software system called Paver, which is a fine system. It's a little bit limited once we have a larger network of roads. So they'll be analyzing different software packages that we could utilize that would help us plan for our larger network. And outside of the scope of this project, but also additional services that we may proceed with this consultant, they also have services for falling weight deflectometer tests, pavement friction testing, ground penetrating radar, and pavement marking retro reflectivity measurements, all things that we may impart but not part of this scope, but also things that the consultant would be able to utilize if we so choose in the future. With that, I will address any questions that the board may have at this time.
Questions for John on this one? Seeing none, I ask for a motion to approve the professional service agreement for SY-22-006. Moved by Dan Hake. Is there a second? Seconded by Nicole Martinez-Legrand. Discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? That agreement's approved. John, next one.
Okay, thank you. This is another professional services agreement for SD 23-100. thoroughfare drainage improvements Area 5 with American Structure Point Incorporated. The Engineering Division staff recommends the Board of Public Works approve and authorize the director to execute SD 23100 thoroughfare drainage improvements Area 5, a new professional services agreement for design with American Structure Point Incorporated in the not-to-exceed total agreement amount of $141,929 with an agreement expiration date of December 31st, 2024. The vendor has made a good faith effort to meet their XBE requirements. Just realize that this is actually the first phase of the contract, so those percentages will adjust as we amend this moving forward. The vendor was selected under RFQ 2022-1. The project in general is drainage improvements and structural rehab of Kentucky Avenue from I-465 to Raymond Street, and also from Belmont Avenue to Harding Street. As I mentioned, the agreement covers design just through the scoping phase of the project only, and the scoping report will offer low, mid, and upper level cost alternatives to address the needs of the project. And as I mentioned, the final design will be added via a future amendment. What will be included in the scoping phase will be preliminary environmental work, including a red flag investigation to identify any publicly available infrastructure and any sensitive environmental, hydrological, and cultural resource areas within the corridor. They'll also be performing initial utility and railroad coordination for the project. They'll also be doing some preliminary geotechnical services, including 41 pavement cores and falling weight deflectometer analysis to determine the condition of the existing pavement and to justify the recommended alternatives for improving the pavement. And then that would all be summarized in the scoping report, which would be the deliverable as part of this part of the contract. So with that, I'll open up to any questions that you might have.
Questions for John on this one? Seeing none, I'd ask for a motion to approve the professional service agreement for SD-23-100. Moved by Susie Cordy. Is there a second? Seconded by Sabeko Jawanza. Is there discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? That agreement's approved. Thank you, John. David, let's go to final acceptances.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is the final acceptance for project RS-20004. The Engineering Division staff recommends the Board of Public Works approve and authorize the Director to execute final acceptance for project RS-20004, 2020 crack ceiling Area 1 with Harding Group in the final contract amount of $529,680. So again, this is just final acceptance. All final lien waivers have been received. Final invoices have been paid, and this is just the formality for final acceptance. If you have any questions, happy to try and answer them.
Questions for David on this one? Seeing none, I'd ask for motion to approve the final acceptance for RS-20-004. Moved by Nicole Martinez-Legrand. Is there a second? Seconded by Sabeko Jawanza. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? That final acceptance is approved. Is there any other business to come before the board? I'd note that the next meeting on August 10th, right, Alice? August 10th is required each year for the DPW budget to be presented to the board prior to our presentation to the Council Public Works Committee. So that presentation will occur at our next board meeting. It will be the first item on the agenda. So it'll be a little bit longer of an agenda. We have an extensive budget to go through. The second is I hope you all received an invitation to attend our AFSCME DPW employee luncheon on August 16th. Hope to see you all there. Mark it down. It's always a fun time. Any other business to come before the board? Seeing none, I'd ask for a motion to adjourn. Moved by Dan Hake. Is there a second? Second by Susie Cordy. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Stand adjourned.